180!
Luke, congratulations. What a fabulous Premier League campaign this has been up until the final. Just sum up how you're feeling after a brilliant 16 weeks.
Yeah, very happy to break the records that I've broken this year. But for myself, winning tonight, it's a massive boost, massive bonus, and it gives me a lot of confidence going forward to next week.
Like you say, not 100% feeling well. How do you maintain that standard and produce that when you're not at your best, like feeling well?
Yeah, for myself, up until now and next week, I've just got to make sure I'm 100%. But if I don't manage to get 100%, then it is what it is. I've still got to battle through. I know in the O2 it'll be sold out. I'll get some adrenaline somewhere, but I'm just looking forward to be going back.
It's an interesting weekend that we see many of them going to the Euro Tour. You're not. Do you think that could be a mistake, them using all this energy and so on while you're at home resting for what's going to be a huge night next week?
Yeah, obviously, if one of the top four, if they do well, Nathan, Gerwen or Luke, then it'll be a bonus for them. But will they tire themselves out, or will they be even ready? Because obviously, if they go all the way, they'll have to go down to London on the Tuesday, and they'll get home on the Monday. So hopefully, one of them gets to the final and burns himself out. But for myself, I'm just looking forward to it.
Look, what you've done here tonight and the manner that you've done it, does that give everyone else an issue and something to think about for the next week? The fact that you've done this tonight ahead of the O2?
Yeah, I think if any of us in the top four won tonight, it would have been a real boost for them. But for myself, I played really well in that first game, and then the second and the final game weren't the best, but I'm just glad to get another win. 6
nightly wins. Would it be a disaster not going and picking up and retaining the main trophy after dominating the league phase?
Yeah, it's a long 16 weeks, but for myself, when you're in the position that you're in and you're number one near enough throughout the whole of the Premier League, you've just got to try and stay there. Like I said, that first semi-final is so crucial if you can get over the line and get to the final.
Just Luke, thank you.
Luke, you've picked up 6 of these trophies now, and with everything else, where on earth are you putting them? I know your house is big, but it can't be this big, surely.
Oh, I'll have to make room somewhere. That's for sure. Hopefully, I can pick up the big one next week.
Well, you lifted the big one last year on the stage. You said, "Where are all the doubters now?" But coming in as a defending champion, no one doubting you this year. Does that feel different? Is that a different sort of pressure, knowing that you are the favourite to lift this year?
Yeah, obviously, last year maybe I shouldn't have been in it, but obviously I had the amazing run that I did have in the World Championships, and the PDC invited me to play in the Premier League. I was never going to say no, because back then I said to myself, this might be a one-off, but I've always dreamed in my ability, and then from whatever I've done from the Premier League onwards, it's been crazy.
Who would you say is your greatest rival next week? You know, Gerwen Price has that great record against you. Luke Crumver's world number one. We've seen some fantastic games, including tonight. Of course, Nathan Aspinall, who, no matter what, just doesn't seem to go away.
Yeah, obviously, Gezi tonight, what was he, 4-1 up? If he
4-0, 5-1.
Yeah, if he won that game, then he would have jumped up to third. Is that a mistake? Because I'm ready. I'm ready for next week. Obviously, he's got the record against me, but it's the O2, and everyone knows I love coming off stage after a break.
And we saw yesterday, as we hate to mention it, Manchester United struggled in that final. We saw on your Instagram story, Bruno Fernandes maybe going to Saudi Arabia. What would it mean for Man United if they were to lose a player like that?
Shambles. even losing that game last night, everyone knows financially what it's done to us. But fair play to Spurs. What did they have? 3 shots in the first half, and that's all they had. Sat behind the ball, but they've done a great job.
Luke Belton tonight, good luck next week.
Just in the bar near it. Yeah, there was a few United fans, a few Spurs fans, but yeah, it's a shame that we didn't get the result we wanted.
Do you think Man United should stick with that?
Personally, for myself, I think obviously the board have said today during tonight they're going to stick with him. But I do think next season it's going to help us. Obviously, not playing midweek. I think quite a few times this year in the Premier League, teams who aren't in Europe, they have like a week off, so everyone can get fit, get back to 100%. So it might help us.
In third next week, it'll be the first time Michael Van Gerwen was not at the O2. Were you personally shocked that he's not made it this season?
Yeah, it's obviously Michael. He's what's he won this? Seven times. So he's used to the long 16 weeks and then going to the O2. A few years back when I was a fan in lockdown watching the Premier League, when he didn't make it, I was shocked, and I'm shocked now. But Nathan deserves it. He's not been to the O2 yet. He's made it to semi-final and finals behind closed doors. But I know Nathan's buzzing and he can't wait.
There's a few pundits and fans that recently have scrutinised Van Gerwen, saying that he might have lost his hunger for the sport. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I remember we done some interviews for the Premier League leading up to it. And me and Michael both said once the hunger goes out of us, then we'll stop playing. But the he's definitely not out of him. I don't know if he's playing the Euro Tour this year. But we know Michael, he'll bounce back.
Can I ask something? If you didn't win, who would you want to win?
The Premier League?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Nathan. I'd probably say Nathan, or maybe Luke, because there's, what's it called, Phil? When you win the World's Match play in Prem.
The Triple Crown.
Yeah, the Triple Crown. Obviously Luke Humphries, he wants it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I don't win it, then good luck to them.
Feel better. Hope you get over your cold.
Thank you.
You and Luke had a discussion on the Triple Crown because you're both one win away and you both need the odd one that each other's got. Have you had a chat around that in the practice room?
We've not had a chat, but I've seen it online, and surely he's seen it online. Obviously, it'll be a big thing for him, but yeah, I'm just ready to go to the O2 and see the sold-out crowd again.
Have you two deliberately put World Cup talk aside until after the Premier League, or have you had a chat about the World Cup yet?
Yeah, we've not really had a chat. Obviously, he asked me a few times if you're definitely doing it, obviously behind the scenes, and I said, yeah, I'm doing it.
It was after you forgot the World Cup was in Germany?
Yeah.
When you say you've seen it online, what are you looking on social media, or are you looking on?
It was literally just a random TikTok, and someone put it on that Luke's won the Worlds and the match play. I've won the Worlds and the Premier League, so like Phil said, we both need one each to be in that place.
Just finally, as a fellow Man United fan, how do you think you're going to deal with the crowds next week in London?
Yeah.
I mean, you've always dealt well with the crowds in Liverpool, etc. But how do you think you're going to deal with the crowds?
Just don't let Spurs fans in. No, I'm looking forward to it. The crowd were very good last year. Obviously, I won the semi-final against Michael Smith, and then in the final, coming off at the break, hitting the 9-darter and then going on to win it. Like I said, it's going to be sold out once again, and I can't wait to be there.